Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and for the millions watching at home, DCK Productions proudly brings to you the greatest podcast in the world! The greatest podcast in the world? Suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. No, you suck it. I appreciate it if you both suck it. Suck it!
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome. Derek, how the hell is everybody tonight? Episode 30. Holy shit. Of the new Suck It podcast. Man, episode 30. And tonight I got a good one too. Continuing on with our trend from last week with interviewing stars from the new movie Mighty Oak. Tonight I have Ben Milliken on. Last week we had, Gianna Harris and Rodney Hicks on. And now tonight we got Ben on. So tonight, another great promotional tour for Mighty Oak, which came out on Tuesday on digital platforms. So that's going to be a fun interview. After the interview, we got some more interesting, sad shit to talk about. A pretty major Twitch streamer committed suicide over the weekend. Her name is Olahana. She passed away of a suicide this past weekend. We'll talk about that later on in the show. And then the teacher from Florida who slept with one of her students and then married him after she got out of jail. Mary Kay Letourneau, who was really big back in the 90s, that whole case. She has passed away of cancer. We'll talk about that more later. And then one of the stars of Glee has passed away in, what is her name? In Naya Rivera. So we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And I'll try to keep it lighthearted by the end of the show and make y'all laugh and do some fun shit. But until then, let's talk some movies and have some fun with our guest tonight. But before we do that, let me go ahead and play for y'all again, because, it's just that damn good. The trailer for Mighty Oak. And then we'll bring on our guest and we'll have some fun. Nope, Donald Trump, I don't like you. I should have waited earlier. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Army of Love.
Hey! Screwed up from the things I do.
We are the opening act for Arcade Fire.
Oh, yeah! The past will always come.
Morning, Mr. Biggs. Thanks for the guitar. This thing is amazing.
Who's that? Lieutenant upstairs.
You're writing a lot of songs?
I actually wrote a song yesterday.
You did?
It's about it not being easy growing up.
I hear your friend's got some sick skills.
Sure does.
I'm Gina.
Oh,
Do you know anything about the man who owned that tailor?
Bone Jackson, lead singer of Army of Love. Your sister, right? Got him?
Do you believe in reincarnation? What if we were all meant to be together? You, me, Vaughn, the band, just in a different way, in a different time. Is that so crazy? You guys ready to meet your new frontman?
Oh my god. It's Army of Love.
You were meant to be a part of this family.
Where did you find this kid?
I didn't. You found me.
I see you met Oak.
Aren't you looking fine as hell? You brown sugar piece of candy.
All right. So, without further ado, please welcome one of the stars of Mighty Oak to the show, Ben Milliken. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Man, I finally got around to watching that movie today, and let me tell you what.
Did?
I did.
What'd you think?
You know what? I agree with the Rotten Tomato score, which is a 94%. I give it a 94%.
Well, thank you, sir. That's very much appreciated.
Especially considering the fact, Gianna didn't tell me this when I talked to her last Thursday, but Rodney did on Friday, that y'all shot this movie in 12 days.
Dude, it was like one of the fastest projects I've ever done. Like the quickest turnaround for a full movie I've ever done.
Yeah, but watching it today, I was like just in shock. I was like, damn, it does not feel rushed. It doesn't feel manipulated in any way. It just was, it was just really good.
No, exactly. And that's a testament to everybody that was involved. It was, from day one, we just all sat down and then we kind of looked around and we're like, this works, and then right after that, that's exactly what happened. It worked,
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the story that you guys were trying to tell, the story of reincarnation, through this little kid and, him being able to do the things that the former lead singer was able to do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you become a part of this project?
I became a part of this project in the traditional way. I sent in an audition tape. No, I got a call from my agents. They said, hey, these guys want to see you for this movie. I said, fantastic. I'll put down a tape. And they said, okay, but they want it, now. Okay. So I put down the tape at like midnight that night. And then the next morning it was like, got the call saying, okay, you're going to San Diego. Damn. Fantastic. A week later I was in San Diego and we were shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fast.
So,
the whole thing about this movie was fast.
Absolutely. It seemed like it. So, what attracted you to the project? What exactly made you say, yeah, I want to do this movie?
It was, I read the script and I was like, this is a great script. It's a fun, heartwarming film that, I loved the character. At that time, I had just come off of, working a season of the show Bosch, and I was playing a bad guy, and I was kind of like, looking to do something fun, and I wanted a comedic character, and it came along exactly the right time. I loved this character's vibe, and all the things that he did throughout the script, and so like this is going to be just fun.
Yeah, and it seemed a lot of fun. Watching it, like I said. I could see that, the actors and actresses in the movie just had a lot of fun making it. And talking to Rodney and Gianna last week, I could just see how excited they were to see it come to life. When I was talking to Gianna, that was the first time I saw the Rotten Tomato score on it. And I told her it was a 90. It was a 95 at the time. It went down by 1%, but oh well, still in the 90s, certified fresh. But I told her that, and to see a 15-year-old girl light up the way she did, her eyes and face became brighter than my computer screen, and it was just amazing. And she was so elated. So, what was it like working with those guys? And what was it like on the set?
One of the things about this set that I can honestly say is there wasn't a single person that you didn't love. We sat down, as I said, for the first table read, and we kind of looked around and it was like, wow, in a weird way, we belong together for this time. Like we were all supposed to do this movie, and the whole experience was like that. When we were up on stage playing it, we really were a band. We were this little family, and all doing this thing together to make this film, and that's why it turned out the way it did. Because we were all there because we just genuinely loved the project and everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. Now, in looking through your Instagram and all your promotional material, I see that you are a guitar guy.
I'm a guitar guy. I am a guitar guy.
But you play the drums in the movie.
I play the drums in the movie. So, they asked me if I had any drumming experience, and I was like, yeah. You know, I played in bands in high school and stuff like that, so I kind of dabbled a little bit, and you know, I can hold somewhat of a beat, or at least hopefully make it look convincing. But yeah, I am a guitar guy.
So am I, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But one thing I did, like about the fact of the movie is the fact that you are a guitar guy, and then you got Rodney, who's a Broadway, genius, and then you got Raven Simone, who grew up in entertainment, music and all this other stuff. So you had all these, different walks of life as far as music goes, being a part of this, movie. So how much influence or say did you guys have with the way the music was, or anything else like that? Or did Sean just kind of say, this is the music and this is how we're going to do it? Or did you guys have any influence at all with that at all?
Well, the music was already predetermined. So Lil Tommy, he wrote all the songs.
Wait a second. No, I did not know that.
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yes.
So Tommy Regan, the oak on the movie, he wrote all those songs.
He wrote all those songs. All those songs that we play as a band, he wrote them.
Okay.
And
I'm now learning something else again.
Yeah, the kid is a genius. He's an actual little genius. And he kind of the thing about him too is he's just so nonchalant about it. He's just like, yeah, I wrote that. Are you kidding me? You're shredding right now.
Yeah. I knew he was playing the guitar for real in the movie, but I did not know he wrote those songs. Nobody told me that.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, that was all predetermined. That we went in and that music was all there for us. We just made it look like we were somehow involved in those songs. But yeah, they're all him, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sue, who was the actual band that was actually recording those songs? Or was it him and some other people, or what was that?
It was him and some other people. They were all pre-recorded, stuff like that. So we had, when we were playing, we had playback playing over the top of it. So we knew what songs were where and what we were doing and stuff like that. But they were all pre-recorded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, I've learned something new each time I've talked to one of you guys this past week.
Yeah, and
wow.
he plays live. He plays live and he does all those songs and he shreds.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
That's killer.
Yeah.
And now I have a whole new appreciation for that movie. Holy crap.
You, it makes you feel so incompetent as a person. I'm looking at him like, wow, I'm just.
What have I done with my life?
What have I done? When I was your age, I was in Australia surfing every day and just, hanging out at the beach, just being a little beach rat. And he's in studios recording stuff. Huh? My gosh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you for a little bit here. So you were born in England and you were raised in Australia.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Talk about that transition and stuff like that, and talk about living in Australia and then coming up in the business out there. So talk about that.
So I was born in the UK. My parents are from just outside of Manchester, and we moved to Australia when I was 2. So I didn't really have much of a transition myself. I was too young, but then growing up in Australia, in Sydney, Northern Beaches, which is a small little beach community, kind of an hour outside of Sydney. And you know, I grew up on the beach. I grew up surfing. I grew up, you know, just being a little beach bum. And then it wasn't till much later on in life that I you know, I was always obsessed with films. I was always obsessed with film and television. But I never actually considered that it would be something that I could, you know, do until I finished high school. And then I went and traveled around Europe for a couple of months, went and backpacked around Europe. And then, you know, I saw how big the world was, and I saw that, you know, I can actually do anything I want if I just, you know, give it a go. Just try, you know?
Mhm.
So I got home from that trip. I looked up an acting class and I started, and then that was that. And I think a year later, I booked my first film that was called Newcastle, and that premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in 2008. And then that's what brought me over here.
So where are you at now? You in California still?
Yeah. Yep. I've been here since 2008. Married, have a 5-year-old son, and this is home now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you still a beach bum?
Well, the thing is, it's just so hard to get to the beach all the time unless you live there.
Yeah.
And and also I'm kind of, you know, the beaches are not the most wonderful in California. They're just way better in Australia. We have the best beaches in the world, you know.
I can imagine. I mean, going from Australia to Malibu must be, you know, a little bit of a transition, you know?
It's a bit of a transition, but you know what? The water here is cold.
Yeah.
It's really cold. In Australia, I could surf in board shorts 9 months out of the year. But here it's wetsuits and this. I'm just like, man. Although I did just buy a new surfboard, so I do want to get back in the water.
Gotcha. But the beaches are closed.
I know. I know.
So speaking of which, so how have you and your family been dealing with the shit? I mean, with for lack of a better word, I mean, that's exactly what we've been dealing with. So
I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, we've been dealing. There's been a lot of DIY projects around the house. There's been a lot of, you know, Netflix. There's been you know, it's been interesting because it's really, on a serious note, helped me really determine what's important in life.
Mm-hmm.
Showed me where my priorities were and where they are now is, you know, a lot of the stuff that I used to worry about before all this and just really isn't important. I used to feel like there were certain things in life that I was just like, I got to get this done. I got to do that. I got to do this. And then you strip all of that away and, you know, the ship doesn't sink.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, wait, no, we're surviving and we're doing okay. And I'm not to say that we're like, you know, on top of the world, no problems at all, thriving and stuff like that. We also have another business. It's a coffee shop. It's called the Palm Coffee Bar, and that's in Burbank. And you know, when we had to close the doors and stuff like that, it was touch and go there for a second. And my wife predominantly runs that. And you know, there were nights when she was up till like 3 a.m. just figuring out how to make the business work and stuff like that. So it was stressful and it was hard, but it's really given us a bit of a shift into, you know, what's really important in life. So I guess I'm trying to find the silver lining in it all. I'm trying to take the good out of it, and because that's all I can do. Otherwise, I'd just be too depressed.
No, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, my other job that I do is I'm a stand-up comedian as well. And when I had to stop doing that back in February, that kind of, ripped everything away. And if it wasn't for
Yeah.
the show that I started just right before that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, I'd be sitting at home going, what do I do? I mean, and, maybe I've had to have a day job or something else like that. But now it's just like, okay, I got this. And, I can keep up with my comedy chops and, help with my improv by talking to you guys and, come up with jokes on the spot and stuff like that. And it's been really helpful for that. So
Exactly.
yeah, definitely finding the silver lining in it all is definitely hard for some people.
Exactly.
But I'm glad that you took the time and to do that, because not everybody has.
Well, no, not everybody has. And don't get me wrong, at the start, the original shock of the whole thing, like we saw it coming, but then it was kind of like, I mean, at least for me here, it was kind of like, okay, I see this coming. We've heard about it. All right, people are lining up, buying up all the toilet paper. Okay, people are closing things. Okay, we're stuck in our house. It was just like this initial shock of like, life as you know it will never be the same.
Yeah. I mean, I remember
coming
that.
to terms with that. It was kind of, oh, wow. Okay, now we really have to adjust.
Yeah. I remember back in March when everything officially closed down here in Virginia. My wife's a teacher. So
Oh,
my wife's,
wow.
so we all got that call that morning, schools are closed, everything's done. And for like 3 weeks, nobody knew what was going on. I just remember that first day that everything was closed. We didn't know what was going on. So we went to the store and it was like a flash mob. It was worse than Black Friday,
Yeah.
and it was just like, holy crap. And
Yeah.
And one day it's massive. Everyone's out, oh, we're going to get our stuff. And then it was a ghost town. And then for weeks upon weeks, and it's still, even though we're technically reopened, it's still nowhere near the same. And, you guys reopen and then all of a sudden you guys close back down again. And now it's just like,
we're kind of closing back down again. I mean, the mayor said yesterday that if things don't improve over the next 1 to 2 weeks, that we're going to get another stay-at-home order and stuff.
Yeah.
So
they lifted our stay-at-home order and they actually put us on a safer at-home order.
Yeah. Safer at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just required to wear masks everywhere we go. Restaurants are pretty much fully back open again, but with spaces in between tables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting, but seeing when other states have reopened, like my family's in Florida and they reopened and then 10,000 cases in one day, and
they're having a tough time.
They are.
They're having a tough time.
But the worst part about it is, that is a very, very red state down there.
Yeah.
So they hate the whole, government stepping on your personal life and stuff like that. So they're all protesting wearing masks and they're not social distancing and stuff like that. But yet they want to sit there and complain, but yet everyone's getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and they don't see it.
The thing I don't understand is just, when did this virus become political?
Thank you.
It's got nothing to do with politics. It's a virus. It's just, I mean, are we going to start calling the cold Democrat? And I mean, come on, it's a virus.
And it is, but I saw this. I aired this clip yesterday. So social media mogul, Perez Hilton, found a video and he made it viral. It's of this lady who went into a Target and started ripping all the masks off of the racks.
I
saw
that.
And then she started, bagging at people and calling them sheep outside the stores that were walking in and out.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong with people?
It's all the Karens, dude.
It really is.
I mean, I think the thing that I'm really struggling with, I'm in my front yard and there are people walking past, and the thing that I'm really struggling with is, I don't mind what side of the fence you sit on. Whether I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what not that I don't care. I respect everybody.
As do
I.
Yep.
Not that I don't care. I respect, and I think every single body is of value. But when your values are directly hurting somebody else, whether it be because of this virus or because of, the multitude of things that have been happening lately.
Yeah.
To me, that's horrifying.
It is.
And I'm not one to usually get, political. I'm from Australia. So it's like, I came here to pursue a dream. I came to this country and I still think it's the best country in the world. You can do whatever you want in this country if you work hard and, go for it. But people at the moment are just directly out to hurt other people. And to me, that's heartbreaking. It's really, really sad. Because if we just put the politics aside, put all of this stuff aside for just a moment, and then started to value human life, then I think we could really get somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, I absolutely agree with you. And the thing that sucks about this country, especially every 4 years, which we're in that 4th year right now.
Yeah.
When stuff like this happens, everyone's got to turn to political because now they're going to, oh, well, I can do this for the country. No, I can do this for the country. And, and it's all about what you can do or what I can't do or whatever the case might be. And it just, it becomes a blame game, a finger pointing game. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it for almost 40 years of my life. And I'm done and over with it. Someone who, has only been here for, 12 years, looking back on your time in Australia versus what you're seeing here, how does it compare? I mean, in all reality.
Oh my gosh, where do I start?
I told you I was going to ask hard questions.
Yeah. It's one of those questions where I'm like, okay. But what the heck? I'm just going to be honest. And just talk from my personal experience.
Please do.
Personal experience was, when I arrived here, I had never paid for a doctor before in my life. That was my first experience of things being really that different. Someone was telling me about health insurance. I'm like, well, why do I need to get insured to go to the doctor? Well, so you can go to the doctor. Otherwise, it's going to cost you, it could potentially cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you get in an accident and have to go in an ambulance. I'm like, well, I've never heard of that before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my kind of first experience of like, wow, I really have to look at myself and my own, make sure I do have health insurance and make sure I have those kinds of things. And then there was another thing that I saw, about all of the mass shootings and all of that sort of stuff. And I was just like, wow, we don't have those.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have them. And it's like, why don't we have them? We had one once. It happened in the 90s. And basically what happened was, and I know this is a very, very, very controversial subject, but I
love controversy.
It's a very controversial subject, but it's like the prime minister at the time said, okay, we've had a mass shooting. You guys don't get your guns anymore. And I know it's in the Constitution, all of that sort of stuff. I know it's there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. I'm saying that there needs to be like, there's something wrong if it's harder to drive a car than it is to own a gun. It's harder to get a driver's license than it is to own a gun. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It never has to me. Back in the day when I worked retail, and I was starting, my career at a certain, retail company that sells guns as well as clothing. you know, the first time I was ever at the sporting goods counter, and this was like, what, 12, 13 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, this is it. All I needed is literally a driver's license, and I can sell this person a gun.
Yeah,
like-
but not just any gun, like a semi-automatic, like high-powered machine gun that no one actually uses for hunting. Like, let's be honest. It's so, you know, and I'm not, people that are for the Second Amendment and all of that sort of stuff, I'm not saying I'm not for it, but I'm saying that there needs to be some kind of something.
Yeah.
Training. This, that, like, be trained on to use them. This, that, the thing is statistically, there are more gun deaths in the U.S. because of suicide than there are mass shootings.
Correct.
So, you know, the argument being like, well, the bad guys will always get the guns. Sure, but what about the people that are shooting themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to do it anyway. Well, no, we need to be helping people.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be helping people, and that goes back to the healthcare and the mental health care and all of that sort of stuff. I just feel like something needs to be done in order to make people's lives better.
Yeah. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, especially about the suicide stuff. One of the other reasons that I started this podcast, you know, aside from, you know, making sure that I'm staying in the public eye and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is I suffer from bipolar disorder, and I also suffer from extreme anxiety, and I've literally had 2 suicide attempts. And I'm thankful that I didn't have access to a gun at the time, because the thing about it is, and I think, in my opinion, you are right on that aspect of things. The gun is the quick way out, simple, quick, and so on and so forth. And how many times as they're pulling that trigger, do they regret it? We'll never know.
We'll never
but
know. But
in
I
the
think
times,
that's the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That someone can be to that point, and like, you know what, I'm so thankful that it didn't work out for you, because I'm so glad that I'm here talking to you, because that's heartbreaking that someone can get to that point and then be like, I don't see another option for me.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. For me, it was, you know, the first time was I had just changed meds, and the meds were not clicking with me at all. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, it was actually my wife's birthday, believe it or not. Wow. I drove out about an hour to go pick up her present, and on my way back, I just had this overwhelming urge to not stop at this red light and just to barrel through and hope I hit that cliff and went over the edge. But in that 10-second time span that I was getting ready to hit that red light, you know, a song came on the radio that talked about anti-suicide, and I had just had a I thought, I was like, oh, what am I doing? No, I'm pulling over to the side of the road. But if I had a gun in that time period, who's to say I would have survived that? But then the second time, I don't even remember, because of all the different pills I was on. I was only told about it after the fact. And who knows what would have happened if I wasn't stopped. So it's like, you know, it's a sad realization, but I never even thought about it like that before. But that is actually a really, really valid point. And I've always said that, you know, one of the things that, you know, we should, you know, have is a mental health quiz and stuff like that, or that extra layer of protection. Yeah. And I never even considered that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, because I don't want to say to people, you know, you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't have that, because that's not what I'm about. Like, I'm a person that everybody should live their life the way that they choose to live their life, you know, but I also really believe that people should also look out for each other. So there should be ways for people to get help if they're feeling like that, or feeling like you were feeling, or, you know, another thing is this, like, I think the statistic with there are more men attempt to commit suicide than women. I just read this book. It's an amazing book. It's by Liz Plank. It's called For the Love of Men. And it's all about masculinity and the way that it's looked at in the world, and particularly American point of view, and toxic masculinity and all of that sort of stuff. And, you know, I really love the work that she's doing. because it really goes into the stuff of these kinds of subjects. How it is, men are more likely to become homeless than women are. More men commit suicide than women, and that's because men feel as though they have to uphold this image of, I got this. You know, I got this all figured out. I've got this. I can handle this. Because if I don't got this and I can't handle this, then I look weak.
Exactly.
And then I'm not a man.
Exactly. For a long time, because truth be told, I only really came to grips with my illness about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And before that, my wife was always, for 11 years, Derek, you need to go get help. Derek, there's something wrong with you. I'm like, no, I got this. I'm fine. And back in those days, I was a professional wrestler and an MMA fighter. So I had ways of coping with my stuff. And so I never really looked at it too much. I had ways of escaping that. But then in 2013, I broke my neck in a car accident and I couldn't do that kind of stuff anymore. So then at that point, it just kept escalating and escalating and escalating. And it got to the point 2 years ago where I almost ended it all. And I'm so thankful that I didn't, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today and doing the things that I've always wanted to do. And it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy how we don't, as men feel like it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling. I'm sad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I am.
You know
I am
what
too.
mean?
No, you're 100% right, because I feel it. And about 2 months ago, I had a comedian on who lives in LA now, but he was originally from Texas, and again, another red state. And he would say that, back in the day, he would be hanging out with his grandpa and, his family at his grandfather's house, having barbecues and stuff like that. And he just never felt right. He has depression as well. And he would, say that he doesn't feel right or whatever else. And, his grandfather would always say, oh boy, that's what they make whiskey for. And it's a stigma. It's even today that men can't be depressed. Men can't have anxiety. Men can't do these things. And I think it's finally starting to come out. There's been so many bands. I mean, and I can't thank these guys enough. The band that helped me, and I've never even met him or never even talked to him. I'm hoping to have him on in the future. I've been talking to him, recently, but, the name of the band is called Bad Flower, and they have this song called Ghost. And it's about suicide and about how he almost committed suicide and how thankful he was about it. And that was a song that came on that day that I almost did it. And then since then, another band by the name of Falling in Reverse, they came out with a song in December called Popular Monster, another song about mental health. And all these bands and these artists and actors and actresses are finally starting to speak up about it. And it's like, finally, like I said, one of the things I started was this show is because of that, because I wanted other people like me to know that they're not alone in this world, because there's some people are afraid to speak up. And if they hear me on here talking about my suicide attempts, but then at the same time, in that same breath, joking about it, because I know that it was an idiotic thing to do and I'm getting help for it, if I can help one person of the 10,000 people that listen a day, of the 50,000 in a week, one person I can save, then damn it, I fucking did it.
Amen, man. Amen. And I 100% back that up. And it's just like, we need to start having these conversations. We need to start talking about this stuff, and we need to start feeling like, admitting to ourselves that it's okay to not be okay. I struggle with anxiety. I struggle with, feeling depressed. I that comes from, my childhood stuff and stuff that I've carried with me for 30 something years. And, I've been going to therapy for it. I've been doing all of that stuff and really committing to my own growth, because without it, I would just go down a path that it's like, I couldn't be the kind of husband that I need to be. I couldn't be the kind of father I need to be. I couldn't be the kind of friend that I need to be. to other people. So I think it's important to start having these conversations.
Absolutely. And, the first 11 years of me and my wife's marriage, I mean, we had a lot of rocky times, and a lot of them were because of, my refusal to admit to my depression and my bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until I had a breakdown at work and everything like that. And then my mom got diagnosed and my brother got diagnosed. And I finally was like, oh, maybe I need to go get checked. And then I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now. And at least I knew at that point, because it was like I didn't want to know, but then once I did know, I accepted it right away, and I didn't fight it because I always inside knew, but I never wanted to admit it. But then once it was finally told to me, hey, you really are, and I'm like, oh, cool, all right, so what can I do to fix it?
Yeah,
and exactly. That's how it's been ever since.
That's cool, and that's a testament to you, man. That's real strength to be able to see it and be like, okay, this is real. I'm gonna take responsibility for it, and I'm gonna, fix it for myself and for those around me.
Yeah. Because, as much as I have idolized some people that have committed suicide and stuff like that, and I can never say that I was, in their position or in their shoes to know what they went through in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But, I still say to this day that suicide is a selfish act. And the only thing you're doing is you're taking your burden that you feel on a daily basis and then placing it on
someone else.
But not just one person, everybody around you. And so, Chester Benningfield of Bennington of Lincoln Park a few years ago.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Chris, why his name escapes me, from Soundgarden. It's him, this lady
Cornell.
Chris Monroe, thank you. God, I don't know why his name was escaping me. I love Soundgarden.
Sometimes that happens, dude.
Yeah. And then, just over the weekend, this female Twitch megastar that committed suicide and, told everybody out on Instagram. And, it's just like every day I'm seeing more and more of it. We're talking about it more, but nobody's getting the help they really need. And it's fine. It's enough time. Right now is the time for change, whether it be the Black Lives Matter movement, whether it be LGBTQ rights, whether it be, mental health. Now is the time. Everyone else is speaking up about, rape and, murder and this and that and this and that. So now is the time.
Now is the time to talk about this stuff, because if we start taking away the politics from these things and just start looking at each other like human beings, we are all human beings, and human life is important.
Exactly.
Regardless of who you are, regardless of regardless of who you are, your life is important. And there's so many people that have been told all their life that their lives are not important, that their lives don't matter, and that is just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing it from this outside perspective to this kind of American version of what I'm seeing play out over this year, I just can't help but see that there needs to be some really radical change.
I definitely agree with you on that. And one of the things that has really impressed me over the last couple of weeks, talked to a lot of rappers and black guys over the last few weeks, that we've gotten to this conversation as well. And one of the things that every single one of them expressed to me, and it didn't surprise me, but at the same time it was I was happy to hear it, that even them, being in the public eye and being black themselves, and they're at the forefront, and they're fighting for all their rights and stuff like that. They're wanting even to get to the point where we don't say Black Lives Matter or LGBTQ rights matter or this person matters or this. They just want to get to the point where we say lives matter, period. Not all lives, not black lives, just lives, period.
Mm-hmm.
And even there, we're all like, lives matter, period. But we need to make these other people matter first before we get to that point.
Before we can get there,
exactly,
then Black lives need to matter.
Exactly.
Before we can get there, LGBTQ lives need to matter, because they do.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. But the people that are in this position, that have been told their entire life for generations and generations and generations that their lives don't matter because of this or because of that.
Yep.
Listen, I can't fathom it. Like, in my heart, I cannot fathom that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
tears me up inside.
The only people in the world that don't matter are are pedophiles.
Well, yeah.
Fuck them. Everybody else, you're good, but just them. Fuck them. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, there's just too much crap, and I'm sick and tired of having to see it every day. I said on Monday, I'm sick and tired of talking about the depressing crap, and I'm going to start, trying to get back to my funny and trying to get back to the, the comedy that I love. But, I said only when certain things happen am I going to start talking about it again. And then something happened on Tuesday that I had to talk about. And then something happened yesterday that I had to talk about. And then today there's something else that have, these 3 deaths that we had that I got to talk about. It's like, where's the funny? I said at the beginning of this whole thing, and with the presidential race and all this other stuff, I don't need to write jokes anymore. And all these comics are the exact same thing. The jokes are writing themselves.
Yeah.
But now it's gotten to the point where the jokes are stopping. And it's just like, what? Like yesterday, I still can't even get over this. There was a press conference held at the White House, and Vice President Pence was talking about reopening of schools. And he made a quote, and it's still sticking in my brain right now that just irritates the absolute shit out of me. He said, "Every American knows that we can reopen schools safely." No, I don't. I don't know that. And that was literally what he said. Every American knows. No, we don't.
We don't know anything.
How can we say that? I don't want to send my 9-year-old to school in the fall.
No,
I don't want my wife to go back to work.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like your wife is a teacher. I got to tell you, I have so much respect for teachers. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Teachers need to be getting paid $1 million a year. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know how they do it. I have one kid, and doing the homeschool stuff like that, it is hard.
Yeah.
So I have so much respect for teachers, but like, why are we trying to put them in a position where they could get sick?
Yeah.
Or our kids could get sick. I have a 5-year-old. I don't want to send her to school.
Yeah. Well, luckily in our county in Virginia, they're doing a hybrid program to where the kids are going to have to go to school 2 days a week. However, the other 3, they get to spend at home and doing, homeschooling.
Online learning and stuff like that. That's what they're doing here.
Yeah. So it's going to be split. Like she's going to go to school Tuesdays and Thursdays and come home, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I can spend some extra time with her and I'll help, teach her or whatever else. But my wife has to be at the school, 4 days a week. Because it's 2 sets of groups, a Monday, Wednesday class and then a Tuesday, Thursday class.
Yeah.
And then it's ridiculous. And then, on top of that, Trump is saying, if you don't fully reopen, we're going to pull your funding at the federal level. And like, what do you, it's just, I'm just sorry. I had to grab the mail. Otherwise, that's
the dogs would have gone ballistic, and it would have been louder than anything. But no, I definitely hear you there. The thing is about this whole thing is no one has enough information to be able to say, this is okay to open this up, or it's okay to do that, or it's okay to do that. No one has all of the information. There's so much conflicting information out there that how do you know what to believe? No one knows anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's safe to open schools. I'm nervous. My wife has respiratory issues. So if she gets it, she's going to have a much harder time with it. And so, I don't go to the grocery store. You know what I mean? So it's a really tough time. And, I talked to my dad who's in Australia, and they're at a point now where they're opening up. But they're good.
Mm-hmm.
They saw it. They handled it, and they're on the other side of this thing now. New Zealand's completely on the other side of this thing. They're having live sporting matches now.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, what are we missing?
Yeah. I mean, and, baseball season's getting ready to start back up, and they're going to be playing live games, but with nobody in the stadiums.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that should be interesting. I mean, baseball is boring enough. I can only imagine how boring it's going to be with anybody in the stands.
I don't know. I've still never seen a baseball game. Actually, I have seen a baseball game before. It was a Red Sox game at Fenway on their 100th anniversary, and that was an experience.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, my best friend is a Sox fan, and Yeah, so yeah, she loves baseball. I don't know how she does, but whatever.
Some people do.
I personally can't wait till the fall and wait for football to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your football team?
I'm actually a college football guy. I'm
Okay.
not a big NFL guy because I personally, and I don't care who hears this. I think the NFL is full of pansies who just want to get paid. The college guys are out there actually busting their ass, doing everything they can to win a championship to get to that point, so they can become pansies who just want to get paid. So, but while they're in college, they're badasses. I remember in 2015, my team is Ohio State. In 2015, Ohio State won the national championship, and their running back Ezekiel Elliott, who now plays for the Dallas Cowboys, played that entire season with a broken wrist.
Wow.
Just because he knew that if he wasn't going to play, he would never get drafted. But he played the entire season with a broken wrist. After they won the championship, had a surgery, and then he was in camp over the summer.
Wow.
In '99, Florida State Seminoles won the national championship, and their quarterback Chris Winkie played with a broken neck the entire season.
Gee whiz.
These kids don't care when they're in the college level, but then the moment they get to the NFL, they get turf toe. They're done. Oh, I'm just gonna sit on the bench for the next 6 weeks. Just pay me.
Must be
Fuck
nice,
you.
though.
It must be nice. Must be nice. Just to
it'd be nice though. I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Neither would I.
You're just gonna work hard.
It's a jealousy thing. I have to spend 10 hours a day on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok promoting the show that I spend 5 times as long promoting the show than I do actually having the show every night. And then on top of that, then I got to edit it after the fact and do this and do that. And I'm not making that kind of money, but they get to work, this and, barely injure themselves, and they just get to sit on a bench and collect a $10 million check. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Although I do gotta say, I do have a lot of respect for athletes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even then, the guys in the NFL are, put their bodies at risk, put their lives at risk. So, I definitely, get it. So, it's just me joking around about them because I know that they're still badasses. I know that for a fact.
They're still badasses. Let's be honest.
Exactly. So, it is what it is. So, like I said, I just can't wait for the football season to start, and that's my Christmas. I love that. I love that more than getting trolled on the internet because I'm a comedian. Troll me all you want because I'm gonna mess with you right back. That's like my second Christmas. Football and messing with trolls on the internet. That's my favorite time of the year.
You get trolled
every day.
Wow.
I get trolled every day. Now I've been lucky enough to where I haven't been trolled inside of my feed on the comment section, but on my posts, on my personal page, I get trolled every day. Wow. And it is like I'll just be playing on my phone, and my wife will see me just get this nasty, evil, Grinch Soul Christmas look on my face, and my wife's like, "Oh, you're getting trolled again, huh?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And it just makes me so happy. I love it.
Well, good. There you go. See the silver lining in everything.
Exactly. So, if you get trolled, hey, send your trolls my way. I'll take care of them for you, bud.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Like I said, that's like Christmas.
If there are any trolls, you know what? I love everybody, so it's I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
totally.
Anyway, so what do you got planned, coming out of all this? Anything going on? Any contacts? Anything else you got hopefully going and happen? Or
I got, I'm here, kind of hibernating, staying ready kind of thing. I got a few things that I'm working on. I have a couple things in the pipeline that I'm really excited about. And it's just all going to be dependent on, when we can go back to work and what's going to happen over the next couple months. And let's see if we can actually get through this and get through the other side and actually get back to some kind of something.
Yeah.
Start living again.
I agree. I mean, I can't wait to get back up on stage and telling jokes. I can't wait to, start traveling again and doing this and doing that. And
Yeah.
know,
do you have any of your shows online?
I do not. So this kind of sucks. So right as I was getting ready to start this show, my computer crashed.
Okay.
And I literally was getting ready to upload a bunch of stuff because I was waiting until I had my set really kind of down.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to upload everything, make it clean, put it on YouTube, and my computer crashed and I lost everything. I didn't have it backed up on a hard drive.
Oh, dude,
so
no.
I've got, so the thing that sucks is I've gotten a lot of exposure and I've gotten a lot of made a lot of contacts, over the last 6 months with, because of the show, and people are wanting to book me everywhere. Especially once things start opening, and they're like, send me your tapes. Yeah. About that.
Bro, no, that's tragic.
So luckily I do have a show booked for the 25th.
Okay.
In a small little brewery, around town. I was able to get 2 other comedians on stage with me. We're gonna do a nice little show. I'm gonna do a half an hour set. And once I get that on, on
you're gonna
video,
tape it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once I get that on set,
after,
absolutely. Now just to let you know, I am very dark. But no, in all reality, everyone I've been talking to, like, hey, just get one thing on tape. We just want to see something. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that's all I'm doing. And once I get this on, on video, I'll be happy again. But now until then, it's like, just come watch the show. You can see how funny I am. And they're like, that doesn't count. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
and I've even done Zoom shows on online, and it's not this. It's not the same. Not the same. I've done a couple of them, 3 of them, and on Zoom you can see all the different faces, but sometimes their camera's not on or whatever the case might be. Or they're not paying attention. They're just listening and they're watching something else in the background, whatever. And so the reactions aren't the same. And each time I told the joke, it was a different reaction than before. And it eventually just got to the point where I was waiting for, I was saying things, just to get a reaction at that point. And I came up with some of the craziest shit that I've ever said in my life just to finally get them to say, oh. And then once they did that, I had their attention and I can go into my regular set. So I figured that out real quick, but at the same time, it was just really, really difficult. Staring at a screen for 15 minutes or 10 minutes doing my set is nothing like being in front of a crowd. Doesn't matter if it's 5 people.
Can't get the vibe of the crowd. You can't feed off the energy of the crowd and stuff like that.
Like I said, I would rather sit in a still jokes instead of a crowd of 5 people than a Zoom show of 100.
100%.
But again,
100%.
That's every comedian that's done every show with me. They all say the exact same thing, but they're like, hey, at least we get to, try out new material and keep our chops going.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like being in real life.
Oh, man, I can imagine.
Yeah. So July 25th, I'm stoked.
July 25th. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen.
And I might even stream it too. So I'm not even sure, but we'll see how it goes.
That'd be dope. If you stream it, send me. I'll watch it.
All right, cool. I will. It's dude, you fucking rock, dude. I can't believe it's been an hour already. Holy crap!
Has it been an hour? What the?
It really
has.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're 5 seconds away from that 1 hour mark, and I cannot. It's gone by so quickly. Holy shit,
dude! It has just flown by.
It has. And dude, you are a stellar human being, and I have
thank you, man.
Really enjoyed this.
I appreciate that.
And I hope that this movie does what everybody hopes for it again. And then whatever happens next with you, I'll definitely be looking out for that, because I definitely am a big supporter and big fan of yours now.
Thank you very, very much, man.
And no problem, man.
That. Likewise. I right back at you, man.
Hey, dude, I appreciate that. So everybody, go check out Mighty Oak, available on Apple Plus TV and Amazon Prime right now. It's a great movie. Like I said, I watched it today, and you can go back and listen to Friday's interview with Rodney Hicks and last Thursday's interview with Gianna Harris. they play a father and daughter in the movie, and they're just awesome human beings. And and now Ben, you are just an awesome human being as well, dude. And I cannot,
you, kind sir.
And I am so thankful to my PR team and Paramount for being able to be part of your press tour for this movie. So I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man.
Thank you very much for having me. I had an absolute blast. So anytime, dude.
Absolutely, dude. I will definitely have you back on again because you are a class act.
Awesome, man. Likewise.
Well, tell your family I said hi, and I wish you
do.
guys nothing but the best. And please stay safe.
Will do. Will do. You too.
All right, man. I will chat at you later, man.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. Another fucking good, I don't even know what to say. Just amazing guys. I mean, it's been great. This past week has just been awesome. Everybody from, John Doe to Ben to Rodney to Gianna to, all these people I've talked to this last week. It's been great. So, all right. Time for me to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back. Guys, I'm here to tell you all about the brand new revolutionary product from Manscaping today, the Lawnmower 3.0, a product that will not nick your sack and make sure that your manhood stays protected the entire time you are shaving. So do yourself a favor and go to manscaped.com and use promo code ShutUpCameron for 20% off the Perfect Package 3.0, which not only includes the Lawnmower 3.0, but it also includes Ball Toner, which helps prevent ingrown hairs. You get Ball Deodorant, which helps prevent chafing and man stank. You also get this awesome, sleek, stylish leather carrying case, all for $99.99. And when you use that promo code, you get 20% off. Also just released the Weed Whacker, the perfect nose and ear hair trimmer. So again, go to manscaped.com, use promo code ShutUpCameron for 20% off. Guys, ever wonder how I get this manly beard looking so good? It's all because of Viking Revolution. And at Viking Revolution, not only can you get some great beard balms, but you can also get some great beard oils, as well as some awesome quick shower pads, which helps prevent you stanking up after the gym. Also, these great wet wipes, which help prevent, stanky after going doo-doo. And also some pomades and some other great products, all at Viking Revolution. So do yourself a favor, go to dcproductions.com/sponsors, click on the banner, and get yourself some of these great products. Viking Revolution. Join the revolution. I cut off the Manscaped promo by hitting the button too quickly on Viking Revolution. Oh, well, my bad. It is what it is. And then also, I have a new sponsor as well who I don't have the read for yet, and I don't have a promo code or anything else like that yet. I should have that hopefully tomorrow, but it kind of goes with what we were talking about today with the whole mental health stuff. I'm now sponsored by BetterHelp, the BetterHelp app, the online counseling app. Please check them out. Hopefully I'll have a promo code and a link for you guys tomorrow on that, but please definitely give them a shout, as well. Especially, if you're one of those people that are embarrassed or afraid to, talk to somebody else, BetterHelp is here for you. You can talk to them through the app, they have a chat function and everything else like that. And it's just, excuse me. It's just a great app overall, and I'm very, very pleased to bring them part of the Suck It family. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have a link and a promo code for you guys to try that out. So what an interesting week it's been. I've had great guests on and lots of cool conversations and everything else. And I keep trying to get back to the funny, but the funny is escaping me because of all the bullshit going on, and I am sick of it. This morning I was like, I'm gonna write some jokes, I'm gonna do some other stuff, and I'm gonna tell some satire material, and maybe just work off what's going on in the world, and talk about it, but in a funky way. And the first thing I see this morning is a fellow Twitch streamer who committed suicide. Then my wife woke up and two other deaths happened. One in Mary Kay Letourneau, who used to be a teacher, and everyone remembers her from the 90s. She got arrested and charged with sexual molestation of a minor and one of her students, and then got out of, and then had like 3 of his kids, I think it was 2 of his kids, and then got out of prison and then got married to the guy. She passed away this week or yesterday of cancer. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. And then an actress from Glee passed away in a tragic boating accident. Now with her, I'm going to go ahead and talk about her first. So her name is Naya Rivera. She passed away, like I said, of a tragic boating accident. Now, the thing that kind of sucks with her is, it was an accident that happened on a lake. I guess there were, her and her son were kayaking, and she fell into the lake. Her son, our 4-year-old son, fell into the lake as well. He was able to get back on the boat, and she was not. One life jacket was found on the boat, and the boy was wearing another. So I guess she took off her life jacket or wasn't wearing it to begin with. But no other clues were in the boat. Search efforts began immediately on Wednesday, last night, at 10 o'clock. And then she was resumed. Then the search resumed this morning, and they said that she's pretty much presumed dead at this point. Now with her, there's some controversy surrounding her. I guess her ex-husband was claiming that she was abusive to him, and has been accused of some pretty nasty stuff. So I'm not really sure what happens there. I'm not sure if what happened there, or if anything else is good to go, but I'm just glad that this guy's this kid has his dad to lean on in this time of need, regardless of whatever she did or didn't do. Again, it was just a accusation at this point, as far as I'm aware. And either way, I mean, I came out of an abusive relationship with my ex, and I know what it's like to be mentally and physically abused by your spouse, and it is not not exactly the best thing in the world. I attribute a lot of that stuff to the way I am today. And I use my comedy, the show, as a coping mechanism for all that shit. And even though I've been removed from that situation, going on 13 years, a little over 13 years now, I still have flashbacks, and I've been with my wife now, who's, my rock and my everything, for 13 years. And I have some great friends around me who are even, even more supportive. And so I have a great support system. However, the littlest thing will, revert back to those days of being hit or being, talked down to, or what, being told I'm worthless and stuff like that. And regardless of whether you're male, female, whatever the case might be, it's real. And in this time, in this day and age, in this time, the whole speak out movement, or Me Too, or whatever you want to call it, men can be a part of that too. And men need to speak up about it. It's true. And if you are anybody that says that we can't go through that, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. Because we can. Men can be raped. Men can be, molested. Men can be, beaten. Men can be, abused. Absolutely. I was a goddamn MMA fighter and a goddamn professional wrestler being beat up by my spouse. But you know what? Because I'm a respectful fucking human being, I never fought back. I just sat there and took it. But then it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, and I eventually spoke up, and her and I got divorced. But that's not even the point. The point is, it can fucking happen to anyone. Hell, it even fucking happened to now his name escapes me. The guy from black guy, bald guy, big muscular guy. You know what I'm talking about. It happened to him. And he's speaking up about it, and it's gotten to the point now to where I'm just, regardless of male, female, trans, gay, lesbian, whatever the case might be, it can happen to anybody. And enough is enough. Nobody is more powerful than you. They're not. And if you think that you are, then you're a piece of shit and you need to go the fuck away. Because, just because you're male doesn't mean that you deserve sex from any female. Just because you're a female doesn't mean that you deserve sex from anybody else. Terry Crews, thank you, Anastasia, or a husband. Thank you. But anyway, the point is, with everything that's been going on lately, mental health mental health issues are on the rise, and they're only getting worse by the day. Whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's your brother, your sister, my mom, whatever the case might be, it's only getting worse. And the more that we fight it, the worse it's off it's going to be. Plain and simple. And enough is enough. I know it was Frank. I just forgot off the top of my head. I couldn't even remember Terry Crews' name. I still love you guys. Regardless. I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. That's going to be a fun ass show. I'll go ahead and stop real quick on my little rant. So tomorrow, for those of you all who are watching the Twitch comments, you see And the Wife podcast, myself, Anastasia and her husband, Frank from And the Wife podcast. Kat will make her return to Suck It Podcast, representing her podcast, The Teachable Soul. Then we also have Bam Bam from the General Public podcast. Then we have the guys from Garbage Nation podcast. We have Katie from Two Girls in a Podcast. And we also have anybody else? Oh, and then we have a gentleman from the Social Butterfly podcast. So 6 podcasts plus me equals 7 podcasts. 7. All one show. First time ever, probably. I don't fucking know, but I'm promoting it that way because it probably is. I don't know if anyone's ever done this before. If they did, they didn't make a big deal out of it like I am. But either way, same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 podcasts, all on Twitch and the podcast apps. We're going to have a great fucking time. It's going to be an interesting conversation because we have a bunch of different, viewpoints, a bunch of different topics that we all cover on our shows. And it's going to be a really, really, really fun time. 8 of us on the show at one time, all expressing our own opinions and podcasts and, are promoting each other and promoting ourselves. And it's just going to be really, really fun. We have a lot of stuff to discuss, and I hope you guys join us for that. And then more, shameless plugging. Starting next Thursday, I am going to start bringing to you guys at least 1 to 2 times a week the summer concert series, to where you can't go out and watch a concert right now. Bands aren't touring, but I'm going to bring you as much live music as I fucking can. So next Thursday, and then I have next Thursday, and then I have 2 more the following week, and then I'm working on booking a bunch of bands later on in the month of July. So next Thursday, live on the show, doing a live set. I'm not sure if it's gonna be acoustic or full live, but regardless, I am having such a fucking day today. Can somebody just shoot me? Because I am like losing track of everybody's names and yeah. But Hook Like Helen will be on the show next Thursday. Maybe you know what? I didn't take my pills this morning. That's probably what it is. But no, Hook Like Helen will be on the show next Thursday. Kicking off our summer concert series, and then the following week we've got a band called Revolution, and then Rocky, what was his name? Rocky Kramer will be on that week as well. So next week, Hook Like Helen, and then the following week, Rocky Kramer and Revolution will be on doing live shows. And then I'm also working on some local bands here in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia area, so I can kind of, put them out there nationwide. I've also got some other things in the works as well that I'm not going to tell you guys about, but lots of cool music coming up. So some days we'll have, a celebrity interview, and then right after that, we'll do our concert series, or it'll be all about the concert series that day. Either way, we're going to have a lot of music. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to give them a platform to play their music and hopefully give you guys the, opportunity to listen to some live music without having to leave the house. And then at the same time, give it to you for free as well. Because we need something else in this world besides fucking Google and whatever else is on the damn TV. But I'm gonna give you something different. The thing about it is not even Fallon or Kimmel or anybody else is doing a concert series like that this year, unfortunately. But I'm gonna try to put one together and give you guys something to watch and enjoy from the comfort of your home, and hopefully get you guys to learn about a new band that you never heard about before. So again, next week, Hook Like Helen will be on next Thursday. And then I got another full week of awesomeness next week, coming off this large week of insanity. And then tomorrow, like I said, we have that giant super show, which I'm really, really looking forward to. So back to non-plugging stuff. The mental health stuff, again, it's real. Please, if you're feeling anything, speak up, speak out. And again, if you are embarrassed to or afraid to, you've got, like I said, my new sponsor, BetterHelp, to reach out to as well. I wish I had a promo code for you guys, but unfortunately I don't. Maybe tomorrow I will. I'm waiting on the read and all the confirmations and stuff like that, but they are confirmed, just as confirmed as a sponsor. I just don't have the read yet for my promo code. But BetterHelp is available to you in the App Store or on Google Play right now. So with that being said, the Twitch star Olana committed suicide over the weekend. She has been candid on her stream on Twitch. She had about 100,000 followers. Very candid about her mental health and her struggle with depression. So I'm going to go ahead and read you this little bits of this article from Screen Rant. She had a varied streaming career, playing on several different games, as well as hosting non-streaming games, as well. And she's known for playing Counter-Strike, and as well as a streaming chat session. Streaming chat sessions and sharing her travels in real life. Like I said, she had 100,000, viewers. Olana's, marks the third passing of a high-profile streamer. Another guy by the name of, in recent days, news that World of Warcraft streamer Wreckful, I'm not sure who he is, had committed suicide, as well as Blue 622. So she had posted about it on her Twitter and her Insta prior to her death, and her last known words were actually part of her Instagram story, where she basically was saying goodbye, and that was her suicide note. That's, it's very, very sad. The struggle is real, guys. Not everybody can manage it, and unfortunately that's the case. But life doesn't have to get that bad. There is help. And if you're not seeking it, then you're only doing a disservice to yourself. And if you don't care about that, you're doing a disservice to the people around you. Again, like I told Ben, I will never understand what they went through. Yes, I've been through 2 suicide attempts myself, but I will never know what these people went through, whether it be Chris Cornell, whether it be, Chester Bennington, or, or Lana, or anybody else that's committed suicide. I will never know what went through their head the moment that they did it or why they chose to do it. But I know what it was like when I went through it. And the first thing that went through my head is I don't want to leave my kids fatherless. Because at that moment in time, you don't think about it, but here's the cold hard truth of it. You're taking your burden that you feel in that moment. You're taking that burden that you're using as an excuse, as an escape to get out of your own life and get out of your own head. And all you're doing is you're transferring it onto somebody else, onto your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, your friends, your family. And now they got to take that burden on for the rest of their lives, knowing that. And I'm a fucking survivor of a suicide attempt, so I can fucking say this, and I will, that you pussied out instead of being there for them. That can be a controversial statement. I don't care. Tabloids can pick that up and say controversial fucking podcaster. Derek from Stuck It Podcast said, suicide victims are fucking pussies. That's how I look at it because I went through it myself. I could have ended it twice, but I didn't because of my family. I did it because I knew I was better than that. And I come on this show every goddamn day, 5 days a week, 2 hours a fucking night to make sure that everybody knows that, because I don't want somebody else that may or may not be going through the exact same thing I'm going through to listen to this and say, shit, if he survived it, so can I. Because I know that's what the situation is. You can survive it. You can get through this. Your family is there for you no matter what. I feel bad that she got to that point where she had to take her own life. That is very disheartening. It makes me very, very sad because I know what it's like to get to that point. Again, I don't know what she went through in that moment, but I know what it's like to get to that point. And I know what it took for me to get out of that point. It took a lot. More than some days I was willing to go through. Some days I just wanted to lay in bed and say, woe is me. But I couldn't do that forever because I have a daughter that's 9 years old. I have a daughter that's 13 years old. I have a daughter that's 18 years old. And, my 18-year-old struggles with the exact same shit that I go through. She's bipolar. She has, severe depression issues. She has anxiety. She has also, extreme ADHD and stuff like this. And if I'm, doing all these things to, as an excuse not to live my life, what does that say to my fucking kids? Especially ones that struggle with the exact same illnesses that I do. It doesn't say very much for me as a father. So, yeah, there's my take on the night. Love me, hate me, whatever. I don't care. That's my honest to God opinion on it. We as humans deserve better for ourselves. We deserve a better ending than that. There's only been one acceptable suicide in this world, and that was Black Widow at the end of Endgame. Sorry, I had to make a joke. That's not true, though. There's never been an acceptable suicide. No, I take that back. Fucking Hitler. Fuck that guy. That was the only acceptable fucking suicide. So yeah. Enough about that. So another tragic death. And yes, in this situation is a tragic death. Regardless of her past, I think she made amends, and I think she definitely did the right thing going forward. Yeah, she fucked up big time in the 90s. She slept with one of her students and had 2 or 3 of his kids. Talking about Mary Kay Letourneau. She was a national scandal. I mean, she was like, in my recollection, now I'm sure there's somebody older than I am, or there's somebody with a better memory than I have that will tell me, oh, no, you're wrong. And that's fine. From my recollection and from my opinion, she is the first national big case that ever came out about this kind of stuff where, teacher sleeps with the student. And, she made headlines nationwide. She went to, she spent however long in jail. I think it was like 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. And this kid who was literally a kid at the time now had to raise 2 or 3 kids on his own. And I keep saying 2 or 3 because I can't remember what the number was. But either way, he had to raise these kids on his own with the help of his parents, while still latching on to the love for this woman who was now in jail for molesting him, whatever the case might be. And whether he was true love or whether it wasn't, that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about, whether it was right or wrong. We're not talking about that. I'm leaving that off the table. Okay. But regardless, when she got out of prison, she did her time. She came out, she got the help she needed. She did all this stuff, and they got married, and she was there for her kids. And now she tragically passed of cancer at the age of 54. Regardless, somebody lost their mom. Somebody lost their wife. Regardless of how they got to that point. Again, that's not the point of this conversation. Because I don't believe what she did was right, and I believe that he only loved her because of what happened as a kid. But that's not the point of this conversation. Just letting you know that I don't agree with what happened. But either way, it's just another proof that we need to fix society. Cancer, AIDS, coronavirus, stuff like this, are still plaguing the country, the world. And it seems like the only people making steps to cure these things are people outside this country. And when are we going to step up as humans, as Americans, and say enough is a fuck enough? My grandmother almost died of breast cancer. My aunt almost died of breast cancer. I've had a lot of people lost in my lifetime from cancer or from, diseases that could have been cured. But they haven't been. And something as simple, and I don't want to say it's simple because I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but something like the COVID stuff, is still plaguing us. And for people to not take it as serious as they need to right now, it sucks. It really sucks. Because the thing about it is, regardless of whether you think it's real or not, people are dying. People die from the fucking flu. Yes. Every year. But there's a vaccine for that. Are you getting that vaccine? Or are you sitting there saying vaccines are, the devil? Has anyone died of the flu after getting that vaccine in that same year? I don't know. Does the flu vaccine work? I don't know. Maybe it's a fucking, just a placebo effect for some people. I don't know. I get it every year. I'm still fucked up as I have ever been. I haven't gotten more fucked up because of it. Or at least I don't think so. I think I've always been this fucked up. I'm just now realizing it. But regardless, I sigh a lot on the show because, I come on here and I want to talk about funny shit and I want to do this and that and do this and that. And, my show has evolved so much over the last few months, and it's just, I love it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, where's the funny? I've gone through 3 co-hosts, and they've all left for different reasons, and that's fine. I can do this by myself. I have fun doing it by myself. I'm pretty fucking good at doing it by myself. But every time I've gone through the change, I've changed something else about the show. I'm the originator. I'm the, the creator. I've done it all. And I love this show. And I wouldn't give it up for the world, regardless of the transformations it's gone through. I love the celebrities I bring on. I love the conversations we have, and regardless of whether I agree with their opinions or not, it doesn't really matter. Because I'm starting a conversation. I'm having a dialogue with somebody else about a situation that is plaguing this country. Or I'm having a funny conversation and just rapping along and just having a good old time. However, we haven't had a chance to do that much lately because of all the bullshit that's going on. You know, I keep opening up, you know, I have a, you know, my phone, and I open up Google News every morning, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to talk about on the show tonight? And, you know, the For Me stories are just like, okay, the Supreme Court may have set back Congress's effort to get Trump's tax returns. Ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen back in federal prison. You know, something about the WWE. It's the heart of the brand. Disney World reopens as corona cases spike in Florida. Walmart is about to give Amazon Prime a serious run for its money. Where's the fucking funny? How can I turn any of that? Well, maybe I can turn the Amazon Walmart stuff into a joke, but you know, here's one that I really wouldn't even want to talk about because it would be segregating my fans to, you know, to the people that are old like me. Saved by the Bell series finale plot hole has fans confused till to this day. I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to click on that fucking article because it's probably fucking clickbait because it's from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. I don't even know who that is. But, you know, it's like, where is the funny? You know, again, here's another one. How I Met Your Mother, 10 things about Barney that would never fly today. I can only imagine what that is because it's probably fucking true. But where's the funny? How can I, you know, so just come on here and do my set? You know, I pretty much do anyway, just in a different way. It's time to bring back the funny. And tomorrow night, I think we're going to do that. I really do. We're going to talk about some serious stuff, but I hope one of the 9 of us on screen is going to step up and make a joke out of whatever we're talking about. And we really get back to the funny. And then next week, you know, continuing on with that. I said on Monday that I didn't want to talk about this stuff anymore because it was depressing me and it's depressing a lot of other people. And bringing back mental health, you know, matters, you know, is important. But at the same time, I can't continue to talk about it. It's just going to continue to get depressing. But every day something else is happening. And I owe it to you guys. I owe it to myself to talk about it. I haven't gotten to the point that I have by avoiding the truth. I think one of the things that you guys that appeals to, you know, you guys about me is the fact that I have an opinion and I don't stick to a script. I take pride on the fact that my show does not follow a script. When PR agents ask me to book somebody, I don't take the questions. I'll take a bio so I can learn about the person. But if you give me a list of questions to ask, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to follow it. You know, my show does not have a niche. My show does not follow a pattern. It's different every day. I sometimes ask the same questions because I like to get to know the person and, you know, vibe a little bit. But at the same time, I'm going to ask questions that they're not expecting. And, you know, after the fact, I might have a, you know, comedy, you know, set of during my monologue where I might talk about something serious. But I like not having a format because it means I can do whatever I want to do. And you guys expect the unexpected. So I like that. And we're going to keep it that way. Oh, old man alarm. Time to take my pills. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take them up when I go home. When I go upstairs. Excuse me. I already am home. But tomorrow we're going to have some fucking fun. It is going to be a great, great night. So please come back tomorrow night. Check out what we've got in store for you. Again, 7 podcasts, including myself, 7 different opinions, 7 different types of shows, 7 different, you know, opinions, all coming together for one purpose. And that is A, to have a conversation, open up some dialogue, and B, self-promotion. We're all doing this to help promote each other. And I just thought it was a great idea. Some people balked at it and like, oh no, we're not doing that. Okay, you're a fucking loss. I remember one podcast that I asked to come on they were just fucking mean and rude about it. Like, oh, we're not doing that with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you better than me? Okay, cool. I'm glad you think so. So you just keep on trucking on with your 2,000 followers on Instagram while I continue to truck on with my 15,000 and my 50,000 listeners. So, you know what? Fuck you. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be fun. I'm trying to have some good times, and you don't want to be bitches about it. Whatever. It's all good. But tomorrow, check us out, 8 o'clock, same time, as always, right here live on Twitch. Or if you can't catch us live, listen to us Saturday morning, you know, on the podcast. But either way, guys, it has been a fun fucking night again. I was having a really bad down, depression day. And if you're watching and you know who you are, if you're watching or you're listening to the podcast tomorrow, whatever the case might be, fuck you. That's all I got to say. Regardless, I love you guys. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight. Please come back tomorrow. This will be the best show ever on Twitch. The greatest collaboration of podcasts, talk show hosts, whatever you want to call it. It is going to be an amazing hodgepodge of awesomeness. And I can say that because I am the prince of all that is awesome. So I can crown what we're doing tomorrow night, the most awesome thing ever to hit Twitch, the most awesome thing to ever hit Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever the case might be. I can say those things because I am the prince of all that is awesome. I am your host, Derek. Thank you very much for listening to Suck It Podcast. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.